Hello, hello, hello. Hey, fun people. Hello, hello, hello. For those that are new here, my name is Aja. I'm an educational consultant who helps parents and teachers teach reading and manage all those pieces in reading, whole group, small group, guided reading, closed reading, all of that good stuff without experiencing teacher burnout. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so excited to kick off this week. We are having our Preventing Teacher Burnout in 2023 challenge. Yesterday, if you missed it, go back, re-watch the replay. We had a ball yesterday as we set realistic goals in order to prevent burnout. Hey, hello, 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 hello. Today we are going to talk about using self-care routines in our daily schedule. So we're going to not only learn about self-care routines that you can do within your normal routine, but we're also going to pinpoint them and include them in your normal routine. So I'm ready. Let me know down below in the chat box. Are you ready? For those that are new here, don't know me, I want to get to know you. So let me know, what is your name? What do you teach? Are you a homeschool parent? Are you a teacher? And what do you currently do as self care? Like, what is it that you consider your self care time? Let me know that down below in the chat box. What you currently do for your self care. Like, what is your me time? What does that look like for you? And let me get, as you guys are dropping that down below, let me introduce myself even further. For those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Aja. I'm an experienced curriculum specialist. I've been over kindergarten, pre-K, all the way through fifth grade, all things teaching and learning. I mean, all things math, reading, science, and social studies. So that's what I've been doing as an administrator. Currently, I'm an educational consultant. I consult with elementary schools, parents, and teachers on how to teach and manage their entire reading instruction without burnout. So I teach teachers and parents just like you how to work smarter, not harder. Also, I have over a decade of experience in education with years teaching from pre-K and fifth grade. I did a little bit of middle school, but I don't like to, add that in there because people didn't want you to teach middle school. But I do have that experience as well. In addition to that, I also have my specialist in early childhood education. I have my reading endorsement. I am certified in diagnosing and correcting mathematics and reading behaviors. And I'm also Orton Gillingham trained. Woo, woo. Let me know if you are also a huge fan of OG. I know I did a whole review here on YouTube. So let me know, let me know, let me know. Um, a little bit about my brand, Everything Aja, and my mission here is that I'm on a mission to help over 500 plus teachers and even homeschool moms create a life that they enjoy and love with high achieving children. One thing that I've noticed that so many other educators and parents want high achieving children, but they want to do that without the burnout and without the overwhelm. And so I help parents and teachers just like you go from being burnt out and overwhelmed with teaching reading into feeling free, feeling confident, and actually being prepared for all of the pieces to your reading instruction. So I help you manage all of those different pieces. And one thing about me is you'll notice that I am a very loving person, and in working with so many different people, I've seen how burned out they are, and especially when it comes to teaching reading and all the different aspects. And so one of the reasons that we are doing this challenge is so that I can help you prevent burnout this year, so that you're starting this year unlike you started all the years in your past. You're starting off prepared. And so This week, we're talking about how to utilize what happened last year in order to prevent burnout this year. Thank you. Thank you. We're also talking about today how to use self care routines to prevent burnout for this year. Tomorrow, we're actually going to have a digital vision board party in which we create our vision for this year. On Thursday, we are going to reset our entire reading block for this second semester. And then on Friday is the big day. We are having our How to Teach Reading Without Teacher Burnout workshop. Dun, dun, dun. So I'm so excited. Cannot wait to really, really, really hone in and help you prevent burnout as you teach reading. For those of you guys that were not on yesterday, let me let you know that today is our using self-care routines in your daily schedule, and we do have a workbook that goes along with this week's challenge, so you can download that workbook. In the comments you will see the workbook, so for everybody that signs up for the workshop on Friday, you receive this workbook. And at the bottom of the email, right when you sign up, you will see the link to grab your workbook. Hey, hey, hey. So glad to see you. Whoop, whoop. So yes, make sure you grab your workbook. Let me know if you have any problems getting it. It is very interactive, and it is meant for you. This challenge is meant for you to take action. There's no other challenge out there like this for teachers and burnout. Requiring you to take action. So make sure you get your preventing teacher burnout workbook. Woo, woo, woo. All right, so let's talk about today's goal. Today, you will implement self care routines in order to avoid teacher burnout. In fact, teacher burnout has been the number one cause of so many teachers leaving education. And so, in order for us to really stop, leaving the profession, we have to address the problem, and that is teacher burnout. A lot of us want to, do the best we can with our children. We want to, motivate our children, see our children grow, but we do not want to do that at the expense of losing ourselves or compromising our family time. And so today's goal is to not only learn about some self-care routines, but also walk away with a plan of implementation. So we're going to take what worked and what didn't work in order to prevent burnout for this year. And I love this quote. It says, self-care isn't selfish. Hello, self care is not selfish. It's a part of life, and we have to address it. And so why are we here? Let's talk about what teacher burnout is before we can actually dive into how to prevent it by implementing self care routines. And so, burnout is a condition in which an educator has exhausted the personal and professional resources necessary to do the job. This means you have done all that you can possibly do to do your job, and you have no more resources. You are at your wits' end, and there's nothing else you can possibly do. And so, this is me literally in my burned out phase. I know, y'all, the struggle was real. And I remember like it was yesterday, feeling so exhausted. I felt like I had nothing else to give. I was in that building until the custodian kicked us out day in and day out. And I was doing everything I could to help my children, that somehow along the way, I forgot to help myself, and I forgot to pour into myself. And so I literally like became this walking zombie because I was spending all of my time pouring into my students. And now I know that you cannot pour into others if you have nothing else to pour. So if you're not pouring into yourself, you have nothing to pour into them, right? And so this was me in my burned out phase. And some of you might be like me and not even realize that you are indeed burned out. Some of the side effects from feeling burned out are this: you're stressed, you're sad, you feel overwhelmed, you have insomnia because you can't sleep, How you view teaching has changed. This started off so exciting. You were so passionate about it. You loved it back in August or September, whenever you guys started school. You were just so excited for the year. You were being an optimist, and it was like, oh, and now here we are, and you're like, I'm over it. I just want to get from point A to point B. I'm already counting down the days till summer, and I'm just over it. And so, how you view your year has already changed, let alone how you view teaching. The physical effects may be wearing on you. Maybe you've had weight loss or weight gain, hair loss, and you notice your hair starting to fall out because of the stress. You may feel tired or exhausted. And so, these are some of these side effects to being burned out. Do I have anybody that's like, hey, I see myself in these side effects? Like I shared with you, this was me. And I can truly say I was stressed, I was overwhelmed, I felt like I couldn't sleep. And I see myself in these side effects. And now I look at these side effects like, man, this was me. Like this literally was me before I learned how to set up systems and pour back into myself. There we go. Tangela, hey me. Thanks for the transparency. I love it. And so today we're going to talk about how to go from being burned out to actually creating designated time to pour into ourselves, because we're awesome. We don't go into this profession just because, but we go in here to make a difference. And unfortunately, and somehow along the way, in making a difference and giving to others, we forget to pour out into ourselves. And so when we think about why this happens and why this is, well, I use this analogy of weeds. In order to get rid of weeds, you can't just cut them, because if you just cut the leaf, then it just grows back, right? And it will continue to be weeds over and over and over again. You have to actually pull it out by the root, and you have to remove the root in order to actually kill the weed. And that is literally how burnout works. If you notice, maybe you've gone from one thing to another. It's like as soon as one problem ends, here goes another one, right? As soon as you get your child to learn one thing, or you get a child or your students to learn one thing, here goes the next standard, and you got to go to the next unit, and now here they go and they don't get it either. And it's like you're just constantly in this constant cycle. And in order to really prevent burnout, we have to go to the root causes of burnout. And so here's some of the causes that so many teachers face when it comes to teacher burnout. The curriculum. There's a lot of curriculums out there that are very limited, and we have to literally supplement them. I know at my daughter's school, it was very subjective, and it was not, they were following a curriculum that wasn't rigorous, and so they were supplementing it, and the teachers had to find other things for the children to learn about, or to learn those skills that were lacking within the curriculum. Maybe you have unrealistic goals. And yesterday we talked about goal setting and creating realistic goals for our year. And we're going to do this even more tomorrow. Maybe you feel not valued. You feel underappreciated by your administration, or if you're homeschooling, you feel undervalued by your own child. Maybe you have poor working conditions, whether it be funding, your environment, your admin, your leadership. Maybe you feel like there is not enough time to actually plan. Another burnout cause is behavior, whether it's the children's behavior or the parents' behavior. You're like, yep, that's me again. And so these are some of the causes for teacher burnout. And so now that we know, the causes and the symptoms to look for, now let's talk about how we can actually designate some self-care time to pour back into ourselves, so that we're not burned out and we're not running on E. Have you ever seen a car that needs gas? It starts going slow. It may still be moving forward, but that thing is going slower and slower and slower until eventually the car stops. And that is literally how we are when we feel burned out. And so I'm going to give you 7 self-care things that you can implement in your schedule right here, right now. You can start them tomorrow. I'm going to go over 7 self-care tips and things you can do, and then we're going to talk about how you can actually implement these in your schedule. Like I said, there is a workbook that goes along with this where you can find the self-care part on page 7, and you can fill it in while we go through this on today. So the first thing I can tell you to do is to set your no working days. You want to create boundaries and actually stick to them, or set some days where you are just not going to work. I know for those of you guys that are workaholics like me, this might be hard. And I don't mean work all day. For example, for those that are overwhelmed teachers that are in the school, these are the days where you leave at contract hours. Like when your contract hour is over and it is 3:10, you are headed to your car. Okay. You need to set some days where you're absolutely not working. Get an accountability partner that's going to call you and be like, hey, girl, are you in the car? Yep. Set that alarm and set some no working days. For those of you guys that love working on the weekends, I'm telling you, I do this even now. Don't call me on Saturday evening. That's my family time. And so, in order to pour into someone else, and you have to be poured into, you have to have time where you're not working, time where you have your me time, your family time. And so, one thing you can do for your self care is to set some days where you're not working. So many of us overwork and we do so much that this part is hard. And it sounds so easy, but it is hard. It is hard. It is hard. I'm not even going to flex or lie and say, hey, it's easy. It is hard. So go ahead and just give a designated day. And that is why we are going to talk about in a second how we can actually implement it in our schedule. So, number one, set your no working days. The second thing you can do is the flip side, set designated planning days. So, set aside a late day to plan and to prep for your lessons. You said it's very hard, man. Yes, very hard. Thanks for the transparency in that. And so I know you're gonna walk away with this having a plan and action for preventing burnout. And so just write these down, and then in a second we are going to create your action plan. Okay, so so it can be a little easier for you. Bonnie said, "I'm starting now." Woo, woo. Yes. And so yes, set some planning dates on the flip side. So you can not only create your no working days, but also set planning days. And these are days where you are working. So this allows you to, that workaholic part in you, it allows you to just kind of work without worrying about, leaving. Like this is your designated day. My designated late day was always Friday. Always. Because on Friday, I can do all my lesson planning and all my prepping for the next week. And so when I come Monday morning, I'm coming fresh and everything was already done. And so that was, my day. Now my late day is Monday. And so have a day, your late planning day, where you will do all of your planning, all of your prepping in one day. Sometimes maybe you want to do this in 2 days, and that's fine. You can do maybe all of your prepping, not yet researching and planning on Tuesday, and then Friday finish up your planning and do your prepping on Friday. And so you can split it up for those of you guys that are like, I don't want to be there till the custodians come in, but you can do that as well. The next tip I want to give you is to create your safe place. And when I say safe place, I just mean your personal bubble, that place that just makes you excited. And so you want to do this actually inside of your classroom or inside of your homeschool room. And so just create some little space for you. You know how kids have a desk and that becomes, their desk, something that they can hold on to, and they take ownership of that. You're basically doing the same exact thing, only this is yours. So you can have candles there. You might have play some music that you enjoy. Maybe it's smooth jazz. Create some pictures. If you notice, even on here, oh well. I have pictures. Like I have a picture of my grandparents right here because they bring me joy. So having a picture of like your family to look at, all of that helps mental health. It's not just people wanting to put pictures of their family. No, it is to create that safe place, that calm element for them. So that's the next tip. The next tip I can give you is to take mental health days. I cannot tell you how many educators are so scared to take off work. Do I have anybody that's like, I can't take off work? Do I have anybody like, it is more work to take off work and do sub plans than if I were to just come into work in the first place? Because that is so common. But if you need to take a day off, take the day off. It is okay. You're not doing the kids any justice being there and being burned out. And so if you need to take a day. And it sounds so simple. I'm telling you, it sounds simple. But a lot of y'all, even me, I never took off work ever. I felt so guilty taking off work. Well, then who's going to teach the kids? Because you know the sub is going to put on a movie and give them a worksheet. And even with my daughter doing homeschooling, I feel so guilty, taking some time off. But if you need to take a day, because if you're burnt out, then you are going to have nothing to pour into them. And so you are literally going to be like, y'all remember Charlie Brown's teacher who used to be like, wah, 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 wah. That's literally how you're gonna be. So take the day if you need it. You said you used to be so scared to take off a day, man. I'm telling you, so real. It's such a real thing, a real problem that so many of us have. And if I'm going through this way too quick, pump my brakes. Let me know, like, hey, Asha, you could take your time just a little bit. But I want to make sure that I give you guys enough time to actually implement these tips. He said, thanks, that's how you got burned out. Woo! Yes, that that you guys, this is a prime example. I love it. Thank you so much for being so transparent. But it's true. We get terrified for taking off work. Absolutely terrified about taking off work. And so if you need a day, take a day. If you need a day, take a day. Remember that. If you need a day, take a day. Do I have anybody that is a social butterfly? Like not an extrovert, but they just like a good conversation. Because I know a lot of times, like I'll be on the phone with some of my clients and all my people in teaching my design. We have 30-minute calls that will last 2 hours. Do I have anybody that's like us that just likes to talk? That just likes to talk. Well, if you are one that likes to talk, you might not be an extrovert, but you do enjoy a good conversation, then this next tip is for you. And that is to actually set time aside for socialization. When we're teaching children all day long, we're talking to maybe a 6-year-old or a 10-year-old, even 4-year-olds all day long, and that can be exhausting. And believe it or not, it can also weigh on your mental health. So if you set just a little bit of time for yourself, go ahead and talk to like-minded peers. Maybe it's your coworker, maybe it's another homeschool mom, maybe it's somebody that gets it right, and just say, hey, I just need 10 minutes. Maybe it's during your lunch break and you're like, hey, I'm setting aside 10 minutes to talk to my teacher bestie. Maybe it's after dismissal, once you wave your hand at the bus and you're like, girl, this is our 10-minute talk. I know I had teacher besties, and this is what I didn't even realize how helpful it was for my mental health until like years later. But we literally, it was after dismissal, It was always after dismissal. After we said bye bye to those kids on the bus, we would go in the room, shut the door, and just let it all out. But it is exhausting talking to kids all day long, you know. So for those that are like Keisha, Bonnie, we can talk. Set some time out for socialization. It don't have to be long. It can be 10, 15 minutes, but you will be amazed at how much that will actually impact you and help you with your mental health. The next thing you can do is use your children to help you. Man, some people like to say, you're being lazy. You're not being lazy. You're working smarter, not harder. But children love to help. Do I have anybody that's like really OCD now about cleaning up? Like now you're like, I'm cleaning my desk every single day. The Lysol. Do I have any Lysol addicts out there that's like, I'm spraying every single day. I don't want to get sick. And you are like Lysoling it up. That is something that a child can do. As you're doing dismissal, all the kids can be on the rug or at the door, and one kid can run around and do the Lysol. Then you homeschooling, your son can Lysol it up. Like you don't have to do that. I want you to think about some of the tedious tasks that you don't enjoy doing, or tedious tasks that can really be handed off to a child. And things like Lysoling, they can do. Things like sorting papers, they can do. There's so many things that we naturally do that we don't even realize they can do. Cutting, they can do. They might not be able to make the copies, but they can sort them. They can organize them. Those prepping materials we said about our late day, they can help out with that. Come on now. You said you got to work on that, man. I love the transparency. Y'all are so amazing. But yes, think about tasks that are tedious or tasks that can really be handed off and hand them off. Hand them off. The next one is to plan for instruction proactively and not reactively. So you want to be proactive. Come into this challenge right now. I want you to give a pat on your back. Whoop, whoop, because you are already being proactive instead of reactive. Instead of waiting until you're burned out and you're overwhelmed and you're ready to quit, you are already being proactive and preventing burnout during this year so that you can be as effective as you possibly can because you won't be burned out. And so, right now, one thing that will help your mental health is being prepared ahead of time. You said reset the bookshelf. Yes, they can do that. They can do that. Absolutely. I love it. And so think about a plan of action for behavior. So, for example, if you have a child that hates reading, and at the beginning of your close reading time, he gonna act up because he does it every single day. Then, okay, let's be proactive. Right before close reading, go send him on a small errand. And so then that way you can get all the other kids in check and in tune. And so then when he comes in, he won't be a disruption to everybody because they're already on task. If you know that Susie is always absent every first Friday. Then and that's normally the days you do, your fluency check. Okay, be proactive, not reactive. Start doing it on Thursday, right? And so the more you can be proactive instead of reactive, the better your self-care will be because you will feel prepared. And that feeling of preparation, that feeling of having things in order will help your mental health. Also, when it comes to planning, hello, Teaching by Design members, planning is all about being proactive, not reactive. We're all about teaching smarter, not harder. And so the more you can do on the front end of things, the easier it will be on the back end. So think about, reading remediation before you even give like a reading test or a reading quiz or fluency check. Already know what you're going to do about it. I just did a video about the outdated teaching tips that are out there, like things that are no longer relevant anymore. And one of them was on literally assessing and remediation. We used to give assessments. We would say, okay, here's an assessment. We need to know what the kids know and what they don't know. And then we move on. Well, that's not doing us any good. In the way that we have to teach with our curriculums, by the time we get an assessment, give it to the children, get their results back, it's time to move to the next test. And so we don't have any time anymore. You say, yep, and yep. There's no time anymore to do this. We're wasting time. And so now we have to be proactive, not reactive. So before we even give a test, we already need to have a plan for mediation in place, so that once we give the test, all you're really doing is putting a name to the people that missed it, because you already had a plan in place. So the more you can be proactive instead of reactive, the less overwhelmed you'll be, because you'll have everything in order. And so this concept of being proactive and reactive can really fall in every aspect of your life. And so 7 tips, gonna go just say them briefly again. And now I want you to think about, I'm just gonna ask y'all to pick two out of the 7 that you are going to walk away with today and implement. Remember, I told y'all this challenge, we are taking action. It's all about being proactive instead of reactive, right? We're literally doing that right now. So I'm going to go back over all 7 of them, but I'm not going to do them in depth. I'm just going to briefly state it. But your job is to pick 2 to implement. And for those of you guys that have the workbook, that is also in the comments right there, linked at the top, the Preventing Teacher Burnout, right next to where you actually put the self-care tip, there's a little box for you to then click it, and it'll make an X. So it's already done for you. It's a little check. So what you will do is pick 2 and put that little check on the 2 that you are going to walk away with and actually implement. So number 1 was to set you some no working days. Set some boundaries and stick to them. Set your days that you are not going to pick up your laptop, not going to do any lesson planning. Actually, you're just going to spend your me time, your family time, whatever it is that you want to do. The next one was to set your planning days. This is the complete opposite. These days, you're actually setting aside to do all your planning, all of your prepping, all of your researching for your lessons. The next thing was to create a safe place, a place for you. The same way children have their designated bubble, you need that too. And this will also help your self care. So a place where you have your candles so that you could smell, some music maybe playing in the background, pictures that bring you joy. You like the beach, man, go ahead and get one of those little things, the little jars with the seashells and the sand on them, whatever it is that makes that gives you joy. The next thing is take some mental health days. If you are feeling just an ounce of overwhelmed, take a day. Take a day. Don't come in exhausted and overworked and overwhelmed. You're no good to anybody around you. The next one was to set some time aside for socialization. So actually designate some talking time where you can talk with a friend, you could talk with a designated peer every single day, every day. You only have to do it for 5-10 minutes. It's only 5 or 10 minutes. Or maybe for you, you're like, hey, I just need once a week. I need a 15-minute conversation once a week. Well, go ahead and block off that 15-minute conversation and make that into your weekly routines. The other one was to get your children to help you. So to take all of those tedious tasks that you don't enjoy doing and give it to your children. Give it to them, baby. The next one was to plan for instruction proactively and not reactively. And this will help instruction become manageable. You won't feel like you're managing all these pieces and you're on a hamster wheel, because you're creating plans before the problem even occurs. And so Now, what you're going to do is pick two out of the seven for you to apply to your life. And let me know down below in the chat box which two, and we're going to hold each other accountable, which two are you implementing in your life? So, which two are you walking away with saying, okay, these are my two things that I am going to implement in my day, in my week, maybe just once a month you need it. Hey, but let me know down below in the chat box. We'll play a little music while you guys are looking it over and picking your two. It is time to reflect. For those of you guys that are just joining, we do have a preventing teacher burnout workbook that goes along with this training. So you'll see the link in the chat box. It's a pinned link at the top. You will see it as you sign up for the How to Teach Reading Without Overwhelm and Burnout work. What I'm about to say. As you sign up for the How to Teach Reading Without Burnout workshop for Friday, then you get the workbook. So right now we are picking two of the 7 self-care tips to actually apply to our lives. I received one. You said creating a safe place for me. I love it. And a day of planning. Yay! Woo, woo, woo. We're gonna hold you accountable, girl. So yes, the same way your son has his place, homeschooling. Now I feel like I'm yelling over this music. So now you will have a place too. And once you get your safe place, take a picture and at me on Instagram at everything_Aja. I want to see your safe place. Whoop, whoop. Like I said, I have pictures. I have a candle. And so I kind of have things. I normally always have like my iPad. Also, if you're like one that likes music and don't like to like get up, also have an Alexa and she plays exactly what I want her to play. Whoop, whoop. And so I do that for me. So yes, take a picture of your safe place. I can't wait to see it. You said okay. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Bonnie said number 1 and number 7 were hers. Awesome. I love that you are being proactive and not reactive, and that you are setting some boundaries. I love it. I love it. Hey, hey, hey. I love the book emoji. So awesome. Awesome. If you still need some time, you can always pause and then keep going. And so now that you guys have learned all 7 self-care tips, you have now chosen 2 to actually apply to your life. And so now we're going to do the next part of that so that we know that we are actually holding ourselves accountable. So the first part was identifying which 2 we are going to do. And as you start implementing these and you're like, okay, I can do that, then come back, rewatch this video, add another one to your plate. Maybe you keep doing this until you have all 7 of them. That would be absolutely amazing. But remember, you cannot pour into others if you have nothing to pour into yourself. We have one more. Keisha said Thursday, staying late. Okay, we have your late day. It's on Thursday. I love it. And 2, your safe place. Yes, girl. Like I just told her, take a picture at me on Instagram. I cannot wait to see what your safe place looks like. Yes, yes, yes. Woo, woo. So excited to see your pictures, your candles, your music. And so as your kids are working independently on their own, you have music playing, and so music that, school appropriate music, that is school appropriate music. But like I know for me, I like a lot of instrumentals. That actually is what got me into instrumentals, was kind of having music playing in the background. Hey, for birthday, say good evening. We have missed you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So excited that you are here. Whoop, whoop. Right now we are picking self care routines to apply to our lives. We have people creating a safe place, creating a late day for planning, creating no working days. I see Bonnie saying fraternity. We have missed you. And so now I want you guys to think about, now that we've have identified at least two self-care routines to apply to our lives, I want you to think about what needs to be rescheduled or what needs to be done for you in order to be consistent. Because the thing with this is so many of us, just as people, we like to start something and then we never finish it. Hello. I'm guilty. I'm guilty. Do I have anybody else that's like, oh yeah, that's me? Start something and we never finish it. And so for all of those people that are just like me, that like to start something without finishing it, you're gonna walk away with actually a plan of action. So I want you to think about what needs to be rescheduled. So for example, Keisha said that she wants to stay late and do all of her planning and prepping on Thursdays. Okay, so what needs to be rescheduled for your Thursdays? Do you have anything on Thursday that could prevent you from sticking to this? For those of you guys that say safe place, okay, what needs to be done? So you can make out a list. If you're wanting pictures, okay, I have to go to, Family Dollar, Dollar General, and go get me a picture frame. I like the beach. Let me go ahead and get a picture of the beach and print it out. Let me go ahead and bring the candle that I have in my living room to my classroom. So I need you to just spend a moment and think about what needs to be rescheduled. Because if you walk off of this, this live without a plan of action, then the likelihood that this is actually going to change your life may drastically drop unless you are really strong with the follow through. If you are really strong with the follow through, then whoop whoop go you. But for the rest of us in America and all over, we need a little bit more. We need a true action plan. And so you've already identified the two things that you want to implement. So now you're identifying what needs to be rescheduled and what needs to be done. So you're kind of like giving yourself a little to-do list right now so that when you walk off of this live, you have taken action and it is easier for you to actually implement. I told y'all this is the challenge that we are rolling up our sleeves and taking action. You said, that's you. You have to work on this. Girl. Since so many of us, man. I love the honesty. You said at times, you just have to commit. Okay, see, a lot of times it's getting started. Like once y'all start on these, self care routines, you'll notice it should feel easier and easier and easier for you, because as you start doing the same things, like for example, working out, you guys. I hate working out. 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 In fact, I hadn't worked out in about 6, 7 years. And I was like, I have to get to a place where I'm healthy. I'm pouring back into myself. Same thing I'm talking to you guys about. And in December, I started working out, and I just thought it was going to be the hardest thing in the world. I've gone 6, 7 years without it, without doing any kind of physical activity, and then immediately got an accountability partner, and now it's just part of our normal routine. And so now I still hate working out. Let's be clear. I still hate working out. I will not work out by myself. I have yet to sit here and work out by myself. I don't do it. I don't do it. I don't do it. I had to hire a trainer. I was like, hey, I need the accountability. And so this is your accountability for yourself. This is your self-care accountability group, right? You said, yes, yes, yes. I love it. So once you've gotten this part, just give me a thumbs up in the chat box, and let me know. Do you have your plan in place for you to be consistent with these self-care tips? If it's creating a space for yourself, creating a late day, creating a I'm not gonna work day, allowing your kids to take some of those tedious task off of your schedule? What is it that that you're only going to do, but also walk away with your plan in order for it to actually be successful? And for those of you guys that are just tuning in, you can find this in your Preventing Teacher Burnout workbook on page 7. Page 7 is where you will find that. I'm loving the music. I'm loving the music. I'm loving the music. We'll give you a few more seconds. Have about 30 more seconds. Maybe less than that. Maybe like 20 more seconds. We'll cut the clock.
Tie the laces tight on my sneakers, sync my heartbeat up with the speakers. Tie the laces tight on my sneakers, sync my heartbeat up with the speakers. Tie the laces tight on my sneakers, sync my heartbeat up with the speakers. Tie the laces tight on
We've
my
gone past
sneakers, sync my
our
heartbeat
10
up
seconds.
with the speakers. New age and life can get crazy. I just see the way that if I'm too serious, then I might
You haven't been to the gym in a year, girl. Telling you, I was a big 6 years. And now I've done 2 months. Woo-hoo. So excited. So excited. Okay, I'm starting to get some thumbs up. We are starting to get finished. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm so excited. You guys are not only walking away with self-care tips, but also a self-care action plan with just 2 things that you guys are going to implement. And so as you guys are implementing your new self-care routines, please, please, please keep me updated. I am now your new accountability partner. Woo, woo. You're not in this by yourself. I too do the same things. I have my late days. Now my late days are Mondays. And sometimes I might do 2 late days, Monday and Tuesday. But my no working days are Fridays and Saturdays and Sunday mornings. And so I kind of like split Sundays. And sometimes I do work Sunday evenings, but I never work Sunday mornings. I really don't work Saturdays. And then you won't see me working Friday evenings. And so like I did my no working days, man, my late days. I have my safe place. I love me some good music. I delegate as much as I possibly can to the little ones. And so I too am using these same self-care tips. And so you guys have my Instagram. It is everything underscore Aja. So as you guys are doing these, please keep me updated. Keep me updated here on YouTube and how this journey is going. I cannot wait to be your accountability partner. Woo woo. So excited. You said prayer is a big part of your self-care. Absolutely, girl. Me too. Me too. You said you like to pray with your co-teacher during lunchtime. Oh, I love that. I love that. So you actually mix spirituality also with the socialization, because that was one of our tips, was to actually set some time aside for socialization. So I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. We used to do at our school, we did Mondays, and so all the teachers would come early on Mondays and then pray together. And so we used to do that as like an entire school, but it was optional, of course. But for me, I'm the same way as you. If I haven't gotten my prayer in for the day in the morning, I don't feel like myself. And so, or even when I feel like overwhelmed, I'm like, I have to go and pray. And then that always, 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 God always fills me with his peace. So I'm with you. You said for you, you love to work out. Woo, woo. I love it. So during your no working day, ma'am, I need you to work out. Because you said you haven't worked out in a year. And so it's time to pour back into yourself. So I'm saying, you already said you're going to do some no working days and planning days, right? You said you're going to do a day of planning. So the days that you're not planning, go ahead and squeeze in some workout time. You really only need about 40 minutes, really. They don't even need an hour. Sometimes an hour just sounds like like a lot, right? So that is wonderful. I love it. I love it. He said your no working day is Friday. Awesome. Awesome. So that your no working day is Friday. I need that to also be your day to work out. So just put 30 minutes of that personal time in. So now that you have your no working day, you have some workout time, and then your planning day was already established. Love it, man. We are walking away with some plans here. I am so excited. You guys are like filling my bubble. For Kurt, I said these are all great ideas. Awesome. Remember, for Karte, we said for right now, choose two to implement. And then as you start to be consistent with those two, then you can add more to the plate. And so we do have a workbook that goes along with this challenge. And so once you get registered for the workshop, which I think you are, so you should receive the workbook should be in your email already. So you already have the workbook in your email. So let me know if you can't find it. Let me know. But these are our self-care routines. You said you also love to do music and Saturdays for your me time and your family time. Yes, yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, y'all are like giving me so excited, so excited, so excited. I'm gonna take some of this energy, this excited energy, and let you know about what all we have this week. Today we are preventing burnout by implementing self care routines into our schedule. Yesterday, we talked about taking last year and using what worked and what didn't work last year in order to create realistic goals for this year. We went over today that having unrealistic goals is one of the major causes in teacher burnout. So, creating realistic goals will help avoid the burnout. And so we went over that yesterday. Today we did self care routines. Tomorrow we are going to double down on those realistic goals as we create a vision board. Are y'all ready? So excited for those. So for those of you guys that are coming tomorrow, I ask that. Hopefully, I want everybody to come tomorrow. Invite a friend. Invite a friend. Tell somebody vision board party time. Okay, vision board party time. But the more pictures you have, the easier it'll be for you. Tomorrow we will be working through Canva. And so it may be easier if you have, if you're on your laptop or if you're on two different devices, because we will be doing the vision board live. So that will be tomorrow at 7. You said, oh no, I missed it. No worries. No worries. The utilizing last year in order to prevent burnout this year, that's just the replay. It's only been one day. And so you can go back, rewatch it, and do the workbook with it. And so you have the workbook, no worries. You have the workbook, do that because we're going to take the same goals that we created and we're going to also implement them tomorrow in our vision board. And so it all these days really do, add on to each other, but you can certainly do them independently as well. And so no worries. Go back, rewatch utilizing last year to prevent burnout this year so that you can use that and actually apply those goals tomorrow at our vision board party. Woo, woo. All right, so tomorrow, hopefully you're on your laptops. If you're not, you're on a device, no worries. There's an app called Canva, Canva. And so in the workbook, you'll have access to templates. I have 5 different templates for you to choose from. So tomorrow we are going to create a digital vision board live. I'll walk you through the process step by step by step, and we are all going to create our vision board for this year. Woo woo. And then on Thursday, we are going to reset our reading block for semester 2. So we've talked a lot about resetting our year. We've talked about pouring back into ourselves. And so The first 3 days are designed to pour back into yourself. And so then on Thursday, we're going to take that same mindset and we're going to now pour back into our reading instruction and flip our reading instruction for semester two. And so we're going to look at what worked and what didn't work, and we're going to double down on it in order to reset our reading block because on Friday, we have our How to Teach Reading Without Burnout. And I'm going to show you how to make your reading instruction run on autopilot because the true secret to teaching reading without burnout is the autopiloted system. The more you have on autopilot, the better your mental health will be, your self-care will be. All of this prepping and planning that we're talking about, all of that will be second nature because your instruction will become literally on autopilot and you won't be spending all this time planning because it's running in the background. And so I'm going to show you exactly my proven three-part framework of how to do that on Friday. And the best part about this is every single day we're here at the same time, 7 p.m. right here on YouTube. So you can find us here every single day. And you can also get your workbook in the comments. It's right there and it's free. What? Free workbook to help you take action? Absolutely. So, tomorrow, don't forget, tomorrow, vision board party. Invite all your friends, all your cousins, all your teacher friends, your co workers, even your principal. Let them know we are creating our vision for this year. Thursday, we're resetting our reading block. Friday, we're having our workshop, where we will discover the secrets to getting your reading instruction to run on eating. Oh my goodness. We're discovering the secrets to getting your reading instruction to run on autopilot so that you can teach with ease. And in this workshop, I'm going to teach you how you can have a bank of lessons that are primed and ready for optimal engagement for children. I'm going to show you how you can have a weekly lesson planning system that allows you to save hours of planning per week. I'll show you how you can have schedules, routines, transitions, and management tools allowing you to be stress free. I'll show you how you can have simplicity and clarity on what to teach, when to teach, and how to teach. If you are new to homeschooling or new to teaching, man, this is for you. Imagine having effective reading professional development at your fingertips. You don't know how to do something? Don't worry. Here's a step by step tutorial and all the resources for you right here. Imagine having high growth so that students actually hit and surpass. Yesterday, when we set our goals, we set three different types of goals. We set a personal goal, we set a professional goal for us as a teacher or a homeschool mom, and then we also set a goal for our children. Imagine them not only hitting that goal, but also surpassing that goal. And also imagine being supported along the way by a professional. So I'm going to show you how all of this can and will be yours. So make sure you are there at the workshop on Friday, 7 p.m. So your next step is to sign up for that workshop. Watch the replays of the challenge from yesterday, the utilizing 2022 to prevent burnout in 2023. So watch that. That's also down below in the description. That was right here on YouTube. And then also make sure you come tomorrow for our vision board party. Woo, woo. And for those of you guys that like to indulge in a beverage, you can have your beverage right beside, and we can do like a sip and vision. I don't know how you want to say it, but for those that are in teaching by design, our vision board party does take place as our wind down Wednesday event just for this month. We are doing it where you can invite all your friends to come join you for this experience. So I'm excited. I cannot wait to continue along this journey with you as we prevent teacher burnout. Woo woo. So excited. Thanks for y'all coming on, and I will see you guys tomorrow as we create our vision for this year. And don't feel bad you missed it. There's a replay. We can't wait to create our vision with you tomorrow. Bye. See y'all later. Woo, woo. Thanks for all the love and support down below in the chat box. Woo.